Nerd alert! Learning is important, right?
Yes, exactly. What a bunch of nerds.
Nerd alert!
Right.
Marketing Architects.
Hello, and welcome to the Marketing Architects, a research-first podcast dedicated to answering your toughest marketing questions. I'm Elena Jasper on the marketing team here at Marketing Architects, and I'm joined by my co-host, Rob DeMars, the Chief Product Architect of Misfits and Machines.
Hello!
Hello, we're back with your weekly Nerd Alert. Every week, I'll take a deep dive into academic marketing research and translate its complex ideas into simple, understandable language for Rob and, of course, for all of you. Are you ready to nerd out, Rob?
I just ran a diagnostic, Elena, and you're still a big nerd. So, good news.
Perfect. Wouldn't have it any other way. Let's get into it. As always, we'll link the research we cover in the episode notes. This week, I read a study titled How Do Consumers Really Choose? Exposing Hidden Preferences with the Mixture of Experts Model by Diego Valerino. This was published this year, 2025. But before I get into things, Rob, let me ask you this. When you buy something, do you think your choice is more driven by price, by brand, or by product features?
I would like to say that I am a savvy shopper that's discerning of price and features, but I'm not. I'm a sucker for brand. And how many times have I stared at the shelf at Target and have seen the regular Tylenol versus the generic version, and the generic version has the same ingredients and it's cheaper, but Tylenol just gets me because I just only, it's Tylenol. It's Tylenol for a reason. I have to buy Tylenol. So I succumb to the power of the brand.
I think another good example of that for you is the fact that you were one of the first people to buy those Apple goggles. What are those called?
Yeah, the Vision Pro.
Vision Pros, yes. Don't you think?
I mean, maybe, but it's also the superhuman technology you strap to your head. So
yeah. When's the last time you wore those?
When I first bought them. But they're still really cool. But
I just read a diagnostic. I think you're a bigger nerd than me. All right.
Well played.
So most of us would like to think that we could identify this like Rob did. Rob, you're very confident that your choice is driven by brand, but this new research suggests our real preferences are often hidden and only show up when we look at actual shopping data through smarter models. So for decades, we've used econometric models like the multinomial logit. Some of us have used those models. I have not, and some of us have to predict consumer choice. But these models assume we all make decisions the same way, or at best that we can be grouped into a few fixed segments. But reality is way messier. Enter the Mixture of Experts model, or the MOE. This is a machine learning framework that uses expert networks to dynamically sort consumers into behavioral segments, not based on assumptions, but based on actual purchase data. The researcher, he tested MOE on a massive retail data set with 100,000 transactions over 5 years. And the model uncovered 4 hidden consumer segments that explain most purchase decisions. The biggest was price-sensitive shoppers. That's about 35% of consumers. A 1% price increase, just 1%, caused them to buy 2.3% less. Then there's brand loyalists, which, Rob, you'd put yourself in this bucket. That's around 25%. They barely flinch at price changes. Then we have promotion-driven buyers. That's about 20%. Discounts of 20% or more triggered a disproportionately big sales spike. And finally, we have feature-oriented consumers. That's roughly 19%. These people cared less about price and more about product attributes like quality certification, sustainability, or tech specs. Unlike traditional models, MOE lets people have partial membership access across segments, so you don't have to just fall into one. If you're usually price sensitive but occasionally swayed by a favorite brand, the model will pick that up instead of forcing you into just one bucket, which makes a lot of sense because we don't always make decisions the same way. And we looked at performance. MOE predicted consumer choices with nearly 79% accuracy. That's compared to 64% for the old school way we used to do this, and that's compared to 71 to 73% for more advanced logit models. All right, Rob, does that change at all how you thought about yourself falling into the brand bucket? Or are you still pretty confident that, or maybe this could be a fun question too. If you were in a second bucket or like a mix of buckets, where do you think you'd land?
Boy, Elena, I've never needed the Rob GPT more than now. That was really smart and a lot of math. I was taking notes, but they don't mean anything.
It's okay. It looked like you were really listening, active listening. Okay, so you don't want to answer my question. basically.
Not really.
Okay. Okay, fine. All right. So what should Rob actually take away from this? First, models that many companies still rely on are oversimplifying consumer behavior. We assume that everyone reacts the same way to price or that people can be neatly split into fixed buying groups. This research shows that's not how real consumers behave, which I think Dale Harrison would agree with this study.
Yeah.
Second, different consumers truly respond to different levers. Price-sensitive shoppers need discounts to move, while brand loyalists will pay more for their favorites. Promotion-driven buyers can be swayed by temporary deals, but they're especially reactive once a discount crosses a certain threshold. And feature-oriented buyers want quality and attributes like sustainability or innovation. They're not going to be impressed by a price cut. So I think that's kind of interesting that if you could look at your customer base and see like where do most people fall, that could help drive your marketing strategy. The study also highlights how important thresholds can be. So in the promotion-driven segment, a 20% discount acted like a switch. Anything smaller barely moved the needle, but when you cross that line, it triggered a big sales response. So that's interesting to know if you're running a promotion, like knowing like where is the line where people are going to really start to respond. And I'm guessing we have some history testing that sort of thing, Rob.
Yeah. That was super, super duper helpful. And I would agree that, we're not just binary, right? There's different triggers for us. There's different blends. It's sort of like when you take those personality tests and it's not just one particular letter. It's like, but you're kind of going over on this side of the fence or the color or whatever. And I definitely think that I lead personally with brand, but I do get pretty intrigued by features and start to correlate those with value as well. So I can see that, we're not just one size fits the category.
Yeah, I know that can be a problem with some of those personality tests. Like we do the DISC test here, and sometimes you get sort of stuck in one area, and it's hard to get out of that once you're framed
but then
as
when
like.
you really look at them, you're like, well, you're really not just that color.
No.
You actually veer towards this side, and so
nice to know. Nice to know how it balances out. So what this does is this model, this mixture of experts model, it shows that segmentation doesn't have to be static anymore. AI can adjust as consumer behavior shifts with income, with trends, or with market shocks. That means that by using AI, marketers can get a more flexible, realistic pictures of who their customers are and what's really driving their choices. So kind of fun. Another use of AI is to use it to sort of see where your customers are going and track it over time and allow them to exist in different categories. All right, now for our Rob GPT.
I thought you just gave me the Rob GPT.
No, that wasn't the Rob GPT. That was just more of an explanation.
I thought that was the Rob GPT.
No,
that was really helpful.
No, lucky for you. We got something a little more
fun. That's getting even more clear.
Okay. Most marketing models treat consumers like a herd of cows. You set one price and the whole herd moves the same way. But the mixture of experts model shows that we're more like a zoo. You've got bargain hunting hawks circling for discounts, loyal golden retrievers who always come back to the same brand, deal chasing squirrels stuffing their carts when the sale hits, and picky pandas who only care if the product is premium enough. If you market to everyone like they're the same animal, you're going to miss the show. That was fun.
Well,
right?
That was really fun. But
do you not like the Rob
GPT? Really work? Because wasn't kind of part of the point though that you're not just one animal, you're a blend of animals, like you're like one of those man horses or whatever, where you're like
centaur,
a horse on the bottom and the human on the top or whatever.
Yeah, no, you're right. That is part of it, but I guess you're right. Maybe this is a bad Rob GPT.
Well, at least I listened.
Yeah, you did. You definitely listened. I mean, you like how people might think, okay, I'm selling. What's a category that's often discounted that we could use as a mattress brands? Maybe aren't they kind of relying on sales promotions?
There's always a sale on a mattress. Yep.
Yeah. So you'd look at your customers like they're all those bargain hunters. But really, you got this zoo. So you don't want to only rely on that strategy because you've got different types of people who might buy different ways within the group.
Right.
But I agree.
Cool.
It's not a perfect analogy. But you know what? We can't always be perfect. That's it for this episode of The Marketing Architects. We'd like to thank Taylor De Los Reyes for producing the show. You can connect with us on LinkedIn. And if you like the podcast, please leave us a review. Now go forth and build great marketing. All right, ready?
Yes.
Okay.
You got to be hydrated for nerd alerts.
That had such a big echo, that water bottle.
Marketing Architects.